I've known distance my entire life, using it as a protective mechanism for my heart in times when others didn't understand me or weren't ready for acceptance. I have daily reminders of the distance my feet have traveled as I stare down at how far my roots have stretched from a childhood home in Kentucky. I've boarded many planes that have cast me to opposite ends of the country, as my career was responsible for the temporary yet frequent physical distance between my family and I, as I would struggle to fall asleep in Delaware or New York or North Carolina or Texas while they lay down in the comfort of our sacred place in Washington state. I've recognized distance looking into someone's eyes when they learn what my family looks like, their hearts creating miles of land so closed off to difference that they pave the way for distance. I've sat with distance thinking of the way that my brother takes advantage of the drive to my parents' house, or how short 25 miles really is when it means you get to see the grandmother or mother that once drove miles for you. I've calculated round trips to and from Benton, Kentucky so many times that sometimes I feel I wouldn't even need a guide. I have felt that distance stretch in the words my mother speaks about wanting to move to Florida, and although every ounce of me supports her needed quest to happiness, distance has a way of making even the Sunshine State look like the night sky. This year, though, I was introduced to a new distance, a social distance. In all of my studies of distance, just when I thought I had mastered this subject, this social distance entered my chest like a round from a 9mm handgun. It tore through flesh and pierced my soul, knocking me off my feet and taking with it the breath from my lungs. It started right as we were planning a spring break cross-country drive to tend to my roots, to water the soil that I had been planted in. It started with the words travel ban and quarantine. Plans came to an immediate stop. I didn't know what to do. My legs and feet were ready to run if I had to, but even if I could begin at this starting line, I was reminded daily that I would never be able to reach the finish. I needed to get back to that small country town. In the midst of this pandemic, my family members were hurting. The older generation was experiencing a new world every day, and this bomb went off right in their faces. I needed to see them. I needed to hug them. I needed to bring them close to my heart like they had done for me so many times in my childhood. I needed to simply be there. This social distance. It's been 8 months. This distance, this social distance. The most gut-wrenching reality of this distance is shown on my grandmother's face every time I FaceTime her to simply get a glimpse of the shell it's left behind, because even though I have to reach into my chest and pull out a small piece every time I look at the screen, seeing this shell is better than nothing at all. This distance has separated her dementia-plagued mind into even more puzzle pieces, and has taken some pieces so far away that it seems impossible that we will ever be able to put this puzzle together again. This distance has placed her in a wheelchair behind a glass window so that you can see but never touch, her mind already serving a life sentence in the prison of this dementia disease, and now her body held prisoner in a nursing home, where my father and mother, like jailhouse visitors, walk to the window and place their hands on the glass looking for some sign of remembrance that never comes, because 8 months of no physical contact, 8 months of not being able to realign the needle of this broken record in order to hear at least some of this song, 8 months of no hugs, 8 months of no kisses, 8 months of no hands to hold. This distance, this social distance, has stolen the hands of all the clocks that I have tried to stop, has robbed us of what could very well be her last days. When her physical body leaves us, no more hugs, no more kisses, no more hands to hold. There will only be between us an infinite 6-foot of distance as we lower her into the ground, the shell of her body, as we say farewell to her soul that flies high, as we are left staring at the marker 6 foot above her final resting place.